Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, where for some, nothing fits. For others, everything fits. So let's talk about this in a different way. I think all of my talks are about Zen Fits, but looking at it from different angles. You know, if you want to see the mountain, the whole mountain, you have to keep looking at it from different viewpoints. Can't see the whole mountain in one viewpoint. Don't see the other side. And if you notice about a viewpoint, you're always seeing your side of the mountain. The other person you're with an argument with is seeing the other side of the mountain. And you both assume that you're both seeing the one mountain, and you can't figure out why that other person doesn't see the mountain. But each is only seeing their half of the mountain. So the two viewpoints are incompatible. Yet they assume they're talking about the same mountain, but they're not. They're talking about two different mountains. Yet it's the same mountain, but seen from two different viewpoints. And each viewpoint has its own reference. One viewpoint, what's the reference of one viewpoint? My story, my memory, my perception, the way I see the world. And the other one's reference is the way they see the world, their conditioning, their history, their family, their nation, their politics, their religion. So you got two viewpoints, each with their own reference, mixing together like yin and yang, running around, a cat chasing its tail, wow, 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 fighting under the assumption that there's only one mountain. Yet there's two mountains, and each mountain is whole. So we don't see, when you look at reality, you don't see half a reality. You look around, it's a whole reality. I look around this room, this is not half a room. This is a whole room. And if somebody comes into this room with me, we both assume that we're each seeing the whole room. But that's an assumption. Each is seeing the room from their viewpoint, and the reference is from their memory, which is the past. So you got two pasts coming together and fighting over the present moment, which is divided into two viewpoints, each with its own past. So let's look at Zen codes. Now, it's been an awakening for me in the last 5 years, 10 years of my life when I discovered the teaching of Albert Lowe, who is a Zen teacher of Montreal Zen Center, who wrote many books and ran the center for about 20 years. And he was trained and received an awakening in the Rochester Zen Center under Philip Kapleau and Yasutani, a Zen master. Anyway, he was given authority to teach, to run it, and opened a Zen Center. And so he wrote books, and I've been reading his books. And so his reference point is not Japanese Zen or Soto Zen, Japanese culture. His reference or study is the Chinese Zen of the Golden Age, where the patriarchs of Zen, 700 to 900 A.D., after the common 700 or 900 A.D., that Golden Age of Zen that had a proliferation of masters, the patriarchs. And the Bodhidharma was the first, and Huining and Hakun and Dogen and Pukusan and Uman and Nansen. All these, it was an amazing period in China. They all wrote stuff down. And they all left their tracks in these little koans or mandos. A mando is a story. a cone is it's kind of like a time release capsule with a tension in it, and you've got to work with that cone to release the tension and get an awakening or a kensho. I see the whole. Everything fits. See the cone, nothing fits. Why? Because it's an M&M. All right. So let's look at the M&M in our own mind. Remember E.T. followed the M&Ms, right? So M&M is monk and master. All right. When you get a cone, or let's take the most famous cone of all, Joshua's Moo. Now, Joshua's Moo is what's called the breakthrough cone, or if you're going to get into Zen, into the practice of Zen, you got to go through this cone. You got to break through it because it's so simple. And it defies intellectualism, it defies philosophy, it defies analysis. You can't break it with the intellectual mind. You can't break it with the discriminating analytical mind, which is what we use to find truth. The modern mind uses analysis. We break everything down to get to the one. Break everything down. It's called reductionism. It's the butcher's block. We chop everything up, trying to get to that God particle, trying to get to the truth, the clear and distinct, simple idea is the truth, you see. So we got to get down to it by excluding everything that's not that, you see. So it's exclusion. Now the monk comes to see a master. So these cones are little dramas, little meetings between a monk and a master in M&N. So they come together. And each has its own viewpoint. But the reference of each viewpoint, like I said, when you go see when somebody comes into this room, we assume that the room is out there and both of us are in the room seeing the same room. But that's an assumption. It's a useful assumption because now if I say, would you give me that martini glass, we both know it's this one, but I might say, oh, do you mean this one over here? No, this one, you see. But we both know what the martini glass is. If you say, would you please give me that martini? I don't give them a coaster. I say, that's not a martini glass. But you get this problem, between cultures, where, anyway. But the point is, there is the assumption of the one, and when two people meet in a relationship, by yourself, now my wife is getting ready to leave today for a week at the beach, the Outer Banks, and I'll be home alone. Now, home alone, I have no conflicts over anything because I'm here alone. If my wife says, would you bring me that glass, I'll say, is this one? No, the other one. There's a little conflict, you see, about what the one is, But when you're alone, there's no conflict over the one. And, but when there's two, there's going to be a little rub. I don't care how compatible the two are, there's going to be some rubs. If the rub is great, well, then the whole relationship falls apart or it gets into a fight, you see. But anyway, the point is that when two people get together, it's called relationship. And when you're home alone, you're living in the woods or in a cave, you see, sitting in a cave like Bodhidharma, there's no conflict. You are the one. When Buddha awakened, he exclaimed with astonishment, among heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. I alone am the honored one. So now these little cones, these little M&Ms, are staged conflicts, or staged or induced tensions of two viewpoints that are incompatible. The viewpoint of the monk and the viewpoint of the master. Now, each one is a valid viewpoint. Each one stands alone. For instance, if we're looking at the mountain, I look at that mountain, and I see that mountain, and I say, there's the mountain, and it's a standalone world. From my viewpoint, there's only one mountain, and that's it. From your viewpoint, well, I see that mountain, and it's the real mountain. But when I put these two viewpoints together in a situation, there's going to be a rub, because there's no way each of us are seeing the same mountain. Each is seeing it from their viewpoints. So the reference, you see, is subjective, while the view is objective. You get that? What we're viewing, what you say, you're in this room right here with me, and we see the room. That's an objective viewpoint. I see this room as my home. You come in as a stranger. Now, we both assume we're both seeing the same room, but you're going to see it from your history. Well, this is a strange, weird room here. I don't know. What is all that stuff he's got there? Most people come in here, they don't even see. I got all these artifacts here, little Buddhas and stuff like that. Children love it. They go, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? And adults come in here, they don't see it. They go walk right by. See these pictures of the gurus on the wall? I mean, back here, Muktananda, and up here, Swami Rama. They go right by. Let's get to the kitchen and some coffee. It doesn't fit their viewpoint. Doesn't fit in what they expect the foyer to be in Blackstone, Virginia, you see. Goodbye, right on by. Yet for the curious mind, there's a treasure full of interesting stories here. And they, oh, what is this? What's the story behind this? Everything here has a story. Oh, what is this? Oh, look at that. And then I tell them the stories of the two monkeys. Or what I'm telling you right now is the story of M&Ms. See, monkey, two monkeys in one situation. Two M&Ms, two monk and master. Here's the master, here's the monk. Put them in a glass and you got, which one's the real monkey? Get what I'm looking at? So there's a conflict here between our objective view, which we assume is one, but it's always relative to my viewpoint. So there is a conflict in the situation of the cone between the objective viewpoint and the subjective viewpoint. And the object and the subjective are incompatible. Yet both are valid. Now, I'm working with this right now as I talk to you. I don't know where we're going to go. So this incompatibility of the drama, well, that's the way we enjoy plays. What is a play but a tension? There's an incompatibility. Something doesn't fit. And the play, or the movie, moves you from this doesn't fit, this tension, this conflict of viewpoints, evolves to a resolution, in Aristotle called catharsis, where the conflict of the play, which is induced or written into it, you see, or the movie, what's he going to do? What's true love? Are they going to get together? The romantic ending. Oh, they got together. I'm so happy. They live happily ever after. But they got to get, a mystery. Watch British mysteries. We watch Vera, and there's murder, and she is intensely anxious about this. She's got to solve it. And she gets irritated at all of her detectives. Why aren't you found there? Why don't you get on it? Get on it right now. We got to find this. And she's got to find out who did it. And then finally you get, nothing's working, nothing fits. And finally, the last minute, she gets a clue, she gets a hint, she gets an intuition, and she knows who did it. And Vera smiles. And she goes and sits by the ocean. She's at rest, you see. So these tensions move from tension to rest. So that's a Zen cone. Now, what I practice or do is that my practice is to discover the Zen koans in my everyday life. The formula for the Zen koan is the same in your everyday mind. One of the, what is the way, said the monk. Your everyday mind is the way, said the master. Well, there you go. The M&M, the monk says, what is the way to relieve my tension? What is the way to resolve my angst? What is the way to find rest? What is the way to truth? What is the way to true self? What is the way to the promised land? The monk asks, and the master says, the garbage can. Or the oak tree in the garden. Or he'll say, do you hear that traffic? Or the monk says, yes. Well, that's the way. The master will always point to the way in an unexpected way of the monk. The monk cannot understand it because his reference is different. The monk's reference is from the dual mind of the Western mind, our mind, the modern mind. The duality delivery system. Everything comes in twos. This or that. Choose. You go to an ice cream store. What flavor do you want? Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. All right. But what is the same? The ice cream. But you can't choose the ice cream because the ice cream comes in all these different flavors. So if you choose the ice cream, you would just say, well, this gets into the hurt locker. If you were to choose the ice cream instead of the flavor, that would be choiceless. You would just grab something. Wouldn't make any difference. They're all the same ice cream. It's all the same. The reference of the monk, of the master, is the unity or the one. The reference of the monk mind is everything is fragmented into pieces, and I got to choose one of the pieces. So the monk comes with the question to Jashu, and he says, does a dog have Buddha nature? Now that's two. Does it have Buddha nature? Yes. Buddha nature? No. Right? Yes or no? All the monk's questions are two. Is it this or that? That or this? Which one? Which one is the truth? Damn it, which one is the truth? And the master says, moo. Which means no. Now what's he saying no to? The monk's question, or the duality, or the viewpoint? The master is going to point to the unity, while the monk is going to point to the two. So here we have, in a situation, could be your situation, a conflict with your wife. Any conflict that you have is a Zen koan. Is a situation in which the one is divided into two viewpoints. And you go, wah, 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 wah. You see? You're stuck in a wah, wah because each believes their viewpoint is the one. So that's the M&M. I love M&Ms. You should follow these M&Ms. It'll take you to the one. What is the one? You're the one. You're the one without a second. The Buddha awakens and he says, glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah, you see. I am the most honored one. Now, if you think he's two, you miss the koan. Thanks for dropping in.